Welcome, folks, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. On today's show, why is Bitcoin price dropping today? We're going to go through it. Also, Bitcoin breakout above this level could set the stage for $208,000 top, says Analyst. All this and so much more on today's show. Welcome, folks, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka, and Bitcoin going a bit into the red today. I suspect we will see a pump up now in the next few moments, but we shall see. We might end up retesting the 76,000 zone. Let's hope that's not the case, but it's very possible. The traditional financial markets were dumping again today, and I'm seeing that the Nikkei is also down already 6% for tomorrow. So we might see some pullbacks. I was really hoping for a full decoupling from the traditional financial markets and the biddy, but I'm seeing that they're still following the same trends. Let's get right into some Bitcoin technical analysis and market watch. Right now, we're seeing Bitcoin at 80,277, down 2.5%. Ethereum down 6%, $1,538. Solana down 2.5%, 113. XRP down 1.5%, $1.98. Doge down 1%, 15 cents. Checking out the day, XCN. Where did they come from? I thought this coin was left for dead, but I'm happy to see that she's coming back with a vengeance. Up 45% for the day. Core up 7%. CRV up 15%. About a 60-40 split red to green. But XCN, I'm curious to see what the news is, but they're up 45%. And for the month, for the week, they're up 98% make that. Almost 99% now. Pumping, baby. Fartcoin up 80%. The percentages, I would say, are about, again, 60-40 in favor of the red for the week. Let's zoom out to the monthly. We're seeing a lot more in the green for the month now than we did a few weeks ago. Everything was in the red for the month, but now things are kind of going back and forth. It's almost a 50-50 split at this point, so that's definitely a good sign. Crypto and Bitcoin market cap. Currently, Bitcoin market cap $1.6 trillion, Ethereum $185 billion, XRP $115, make that $116 billion, Solana $58 billion, Doge $23 billion, Tron $22 billion, Cardano just under $22 billion. Total market cap is $2.51 trillion, with Bitcoin holding 63.25% of that. Ethereum 7.3%, XRP 4.6%. Currently, we are a 39 in fear in the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Yesterday was extreme fear 18. Last week was a 25 in fear. There are 1,099 days left until the next Bitcoin halving 2028, and there's 158,292 blocks left to mine until that time. Total assets by market cap, we've got gold again way up there, $21.6 trillion, Apple $3 trillion, Microsoft $2.9 trillion, Nvidia $2.8 trillion, Amazon $2 trillion, Google $1.9 trillion, silver $1.7.5 trillion, Saudi Aramco $1.676 trillion, Bitcoin $1.6 trillion, and Meta $1.5 trillion. You can currently get 1,247 Satoshis for one fiat US dollar. The US debt clock shows us the current national debt is at $36,709 billion, up almost 9 billion from yesterday. That equals to 107,316 per U.S. citizen, or 323,049 per U.S. taxpayer. The Doge clock shows they have saved another $4 billion since yesterday. Savings per taxpayer. So the Doge committee there have saved $303 billion and climbing, and that is per citizen $2,700 per taxpayer. $2,700. Not bad for 3 months' work. Why is the Bitcoin going down today? Well, it goes into the China tariff. So sure, a pause was put on the tariffs for the rest of the world, but the China tariffs were increased now to 140% from 125%. So firstly, Trump did the right thing. I'm happy that he doubled down and, said, hey, I'm seeing what's going on in the markets. I'm seeing that the bonds were tanking. Everybody was pulling their money out of bonds. And, okay, let's put these tariffs on pause for 90 days. Takes a big man to, go away from his ego and say, okay, maybe this wasn't right. Let's try and correct this. So I'm actually happy. He did a good job about that. Nobody's happy about the markets, but at least he fessed up to it and made the change. These things were moving too fast, too hard. And, there were tariffs on countries that didn't even have a human population, right? It was just a blanket tariff globally. So I think they're going to put a little more research into it. And a lot of countries have come forth and want to negotiate these tariffs. So it's a good pause. Let's negotiate these things instead of just saying, everybody's got a tariff. But his negotiating tactic worked quite well because suddenly everybody was calling him. And he has learned pretty fast who the people that, or who the countries are that are going to work well with the states and who the countries are that aren't going to work well. So, there's still countries like Canada, like China, and we're putting reciprocal tariffs, and then there's other countries that are like, you know what, we are going to reduce our tariffs to zero. Israel did a good job of this. I think they were the first ones. Japan's done a good job of it. There are apparently 70 countries around the world that are saying, let's negotiate this. Let's remove all tariffs. Forget the 10%. Forget the 30, 50%, whatever you want to call it. And let's just go to zero. We are going to zero. And regardless of what the States does. So this is how you negotiate, folks. I heard the Canadian guys saying, well, we'll remove all our tariffs if the U.S. does it first. What are we, in kindergarten here? Doesn't Canada need the States more than the States needs Canada? The population of Canada is the same as the population of California. So wake up, folks to the north. I don't get it. After showing flashes of brilliance early in the day, Bitcoin price is now firmly trading under 80,000 amid fears of a steeper drop. The drop in the prices follow the release of U.S. economic job data as Bitcoin finds its bearing amid macroeconomic uncertainties. According to CoinMarketCap data, Bitcoin price slipped under 80,000 again after showing glimpses of promise early in the day. Bitcoin currently exchanges hands at 80,000, a steep drop from nearly 4% in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin price reached a daily high of 83.5 before reversing toward lows of under the 80 grand. Price is traded for as low as 78.5, leaving investors scratching their heads over the price performance. The largest cryptocurrency looked set for a parabolic rally following the release of U.S. CPI data. Per the data, the CPI inflation rate settled at 0.1%, sparking relief for Bitcoin's massive breakout ahead of an imminent Fed rate cut. Within hours of the data release, Bitcoin soared by 8% before hitting a glass ceiling and tumbling below 80,000. Why did Bitcoin slump? The Bitcoin price decline is a response to rising global trade tensions stoked by the U.S. and China. The back-and-forth tariffs are forcing the hands of investors to pull funds from risk-on assets to safe haven alternatives. Investors are funneling funds to gold and U.S. treasuries, given Bitcoin decoupling from the tech-heavy S&P 500 to earn the tag as an uncorrelated asset. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are facing dire risk of price slumps as a result to the China-U.S. tariff war. Despite the positive fundamentals in the space, macroeconomic events are affecting Bitcoin in the short term. However, cryptocurrency analyst Axel Adler describes the macro-fueled slump as a healthy consolidation for Bitcoin price. Adler notes that despite the slump of Bitcoin price is still demonstrating resilience to external economic shocks. The current correction looks like a healthy consolidation rather than a sign of deep crisis, as holders perceive market and geopolitical risks less critically than the direct technological threats, said Alter. So let's hope they're right. It's a bit early to say. I really hope that this decoupling has taken place. Again, I'm seeing, the Nikkei's down. Let's check out where the Nikkei is down right now. And I saw the Nikkei was down, and then I looked at the Biddy, and the Biddy was also down. So let's just take a peek here. Well, it opened down 6%, and it's currently down 4.5%. So things did get a little better in the past half hour or hour, but still down 4.5% on any other week or month or year. The Nikkei being down 4.5% would be, world news, right? But in this past little while, 4.5%, that's jack all. But Bitcoin is looking for a breakout above this level, and if they hit this level, it could set the stage for what we're looking for, and that is a 208,000 top, says Analyst. Bitcoin Mayor multiple currently has its upper band located at 208,500. In a new post on X, analyst Ali Martinez has discussed the Mayor multiple of Bitcoin. The Mayor multiple refers to an indicator that keeps track of the ratio between the Bitcoin price and its 200 moving day average. One way to interpret the metric is as a measure of the distance away that the asset's value from the 200 moving day average. Historically, the 200 MA has served as a boundary between bullish and bearish trends for the cryptocurrency. So how far its price is from this important line can help indicate potential oversold and overbought conditions. More specifically, a Mayor multiple value of 2.4 or more has generally signaled that the asset is becoming overheated. Similarly, a value of 0.8 or under can suggest that the coin may be due to bounce back toward the 200 moving day average. Now, here is the chart shared by the analyst that shows the trend of the 200-day moving average of Bitcoin, as well as lines corresponding to the 2.4 and the 0.8 Mayor multiple levels over the past decade. We can't really zoom in here, but the red is the 2.4, the green is the 0.8, and the 200 moving average is navy blue, and the black is the actual Bitcoin price. So we're very firmly in the in the green area, which is the 0.8. So as he said, when we see it get to this low level, we could expect a pump. So even it's been actually following for the most part, quite below that. Here we've got in 2018, so the halving was 2016, so the year after the halving, so right about here we go, November. Now that we have our bearings, the cycle peak, November 2017. Then let's go to the next halving, 2020, and the year after the halving, 2021, we had our cycle peak right in about here, above the 200-day moving average. And if we get into 2024, 2025, we're sitting right at the end of the chart here. We're way below this moving average, and we are looking to gain to the red line at some point. So if we get there, it's going to be this $208,000. I am a firm believer that we will actually get there, but again, we're looking at the cycle peak, which generally is around October, November, the year after the halving. So we're looking at about 6 months from now. As is visible in the chart, Bitcoin has recently declined under the 200 moving day average, situated at 87,000. This means that the Mayer multiple has now dropped under the 1.0 mark, very, very close to the 0.8. The next potential support for the cryptocurrency could be located at 69.5, corresponding to the level where the Mayer multiple would assume a value equal to 0.8. Bitcoin has witnessed a surge in the past day, so it's currently closer to the retesting the 200 moving day average rather than falling back to the support. In the scenario that the asset goes on to retest this mark and successfully break above it, Martinez has noted that the stage might be set for a market top around $208,000. This level, of course, correlates to the Mayer 2.4 level. So far in the current cycle, Bitcoin hasn't made a single touch of this level. From the chart, it's visible that the bull run in the second half of 2021 attained this peak far below the line, but the cryptocurrency still spent time around it during the first half of the year. Right here. So remember, we had a double top the last Bitcoin halving, and I really was expecting the same kind of thing. Let's go into the chart here. Given the precedence, it's possible that the asset would hit this mark at least once in the remaining portion of the current cycle. It only remains to be seen, however, whether the pattern holds, considering the uncertainty in the form of tariffs that's looming over the market. Bitcoin has shown some sharp recovery during the last 24 hours as its price is back up to 81.5 after a jump over 6%, and currently we're at 80,400. So this is the 24-hour chart. Don't get too excited, folks. That's what happened earlier today. But we are seeing a bit of a slow pullback again. I do feel like this is going to be short-lived. When we go into our full chart here, so I've got the 200-day, 50, and the 200-day moving average. So let's see which this is showing. Yeah, no real help here. I do. Let's zoom right in. And let's get this chart into a kind of there. That's what I'm looking for. All right, so if we go into the last halving, 2020 was the halving mark. 2021 with the year after the halving, and here we've got this double peak, and again right around November, exactly November 9th, 2021, the cycle peak. So I was expecting, and I still do feel like we're at this point right here where we're seeing this massive pullback. Of course, this chart, as the years go by, this is going to get condensed, just like this is. If we, really zoom in on this, right, this is what I'm talking about. This is 2021. I really feel like this is where we're sitting. I earlier thought we were sitting in about here, but time seems to be passing by pretty quickly, and I feel like we're almost mid-cycle. I don't know if we're going to go up to this, 3-4x from the bottom, from the halving date as we have in the past. My calculations were we went, I think it was 6x in the last halving from the halving date to the cycle peak, and I was anticipating between a 3.5x and a 5x this cycle. So my predicted price was between, I think it was 270, I think it was 230 to 270K realistically if we follow the same trends. But yeah, let's hope that, these cycles now are stretched out. We didn't see, I really feel like by now we would have been at 150K. It's a little surprising that we're not. I think the new presidency had a lot to do with it. Then we had the tariff talks. We also had the first time Bitcoin broke its last all-time high from the previous cycle before the halving this time, and that was largely due to the ETFs that came out, or the ETPs that BlackRock and the other 12 and now dozens and dozens of asset managers have Bitcoin. But originally that was January 10th of 2020, 2024. Big pump, kind of made it up to here. And then a lot of sideways action. Then we really pumped up, but we ended up in this head and shoulders pattern, which we've now closed off. So, if we zoom in here, we keep seeing that we keep retesting this same mark at 77,000 multiple times now. So something's got to give here, and I don't know if we're going to end up going sideways again like we see here for many months, or if this thing is then finally going to zoom up and to the right. Generally, Bitcoin follows the global M2 money supply. So let's take a look at that. All right, it really follows this. Let's refresh. And we see that at least the U.S. money supply is really picked up, compared to previous, right? It's really picked up. Another thing that it seems to follow is the ISM manufacturing, and we do see a big pickup here. This was, in fact, down quite a bit. When we get to this point, then you're going to see huge jumps, not only in Bitcoin, but the traditional financial markets as well. And again, with all of this manufacturing going back into the States, or at least the talk of it, I expected that this would have already shot up. Once we see this get past 50, I think we're really starting to look good. The global M2 money supply is ready to take off. The whole world is going to start printing money, and you can see a little bit that it's starting to peak here. It's not as sideways as it was. It's bouncing higher here. let's check the full chart here. Yeah, we do see that the vertical line, it's not quite a banana, but it's definitely getting a little bit steeper here. So this again is just the US national debt. Of course, if you guys haven't seen this chart before, in 1966 you see the US national debt $320,000, and now 36.5 trillion, as we cover every day on this show. But going back to the M2, this globally is going to pick up. The entire world is set to start printing a crap load of money, including the States, including Europe, including China. And these are really the three biggest markets in the world. Approximately $20 trillion per section. So US 20, I think it's 22 trillion. Europe altogether 20 trillion. China 20 trillion. So these sections are going to start printing money. It's a known thing. We already see it happening in the States. China has to start printing money coming up very soon, because their whole market crashed. Then their housing market crashed. Their interest rates currently are as low as you can get. So their interest rates are 1%. So there's nothing they can do except print money. On top of that, you've got the US now imposing 140% tariffs. So much of their exports, huge market in the States. This is why the whole world listens when the States talks. It's not because, superpower this, an army. No, it's because the consumers in the States buy so many things. So the rest of the world ships all their goods to the States, and the people of the States, because maybe their incomes are a little higher and, very developed nation, they're able to buy things, right? So this is why the markets all freak out when, we're going to put tariffs on you, because suddenly their cash grab, I guess you can call it, which is, the U.S., is not going to be there potentially anymore. So they're like, where are we going to sell our things? Our economy is going to tank now that we can't sell to the States, right? So, but Europe has said they're going to print over $1 trillion. The States is going to have to start printing a lot coming up soon, because if they want to bring this manufacturing back to the States, they're, according to my calculations and things that I've read, they would need $6 to $7 trillion to do this. Where do you get 6 or 7 trillion bucks? Well, if you've got a money printer, that's exactly where you get it from. They want to lower taxes, so they're not going to get it from taxes. The only place to get this $6 trillion is through printing more money. And again, the Bitcoin price follows the M2 money supply. The Bitcoin price also follows the hash rate, the global hash rate, how much mining is going on. And right now, as we speak, they are at an all-time high. So something's got to give. Prices of the Bitty, I feel like very shortly are going to spike without anyone even thinking about it or realizing it. The whales keep buying the Bitty. All the big rollers have probably now bought what they could in Bitcoin. The price has, again, gone up and down multiple times into this zone where there's support. So I don't know if the price is going to go below this 75 grand, 75, 76. It just seems like the price comes down there. Then it's more accumulation from, the whales, and they just keep accumulating and accumulating and accumulating. And the consumer, the other side of things, the retail side, doesn't know enough, gets freaked out and sells. And who's buying your biddy when you sell your Bitcoin? Well, the whales are picking it up. The nation states are picking it up. Pension funds are picking it up. The huge money around the world that can afford to buy these things, when they're not really using their own money, they're using other people's monies. It's like, when you put your money in the bank, well, suddenly the bank has all this leverage because they can go out and buy whatever they want, right? You and I, we can't afford 100 million, 500 million, something like that. But all of our money together put in the bank, they can afford to do whatever they want. All of our money together put into BlackRock, $12 trillion. Well, if they want to go out and buy something, they can go out and do it. So, all these asset managers and these banks, remember, folks, they're nothing without people. They get their wealth because they take your money, my money, and then they reuse it to go and lend it out or invest it and make more money off of it. So, great business model. Doesn't really help the common guy like you and me. Regardless, there is lots of money around the world, folks. There is approximately $900 trillion in assets out there. So go get yours. Make your money work for you. Now is a good time to buy the dip as usual. I mean, I've been buying the dip when I could. Whenever the prices go back to this, 78 or 80,000, I've been buying the dip. And I haven't just been buying Bitcoin. I've been buying the dip on things that are really way down and have a good potential. I've been buying the dip on Solana a lot. I've been buying the dip Algorand, Doge, Injective. I bought another couple good ones are AVAX, Toncoin, Polkadot, XRP. How could we forget XRP? These are good coins that are not going anywhere. Some of these shit coins are here today and gone tomorrow, so be careful with this shit coinery. I always say, fine, you want to take the risk, do so with 5% of your money, let's say, but that other 95%, put it in these safe coins. It's a good dip buying opportunity right now. And when you buy the dip, when you buy things at a low price, you don't have to wait as long to actually start making money. If you wait until everybody else is, till Bitcoin is in the news and everybody's saying, Bitcoin, the price is up, the price is up. Well, when you buy then, the price is already up. You're going to have to wait longer for the price to go higher. And when you get in at those prices, the prices might even go down. What I've been doing is buying the dip. And if the price goes, so let's say I'll buy at 78,000 or Solana at $105, I think that's been kind of the level where it gets to, and I buy in again. So if the price goes, Solana, for example, to $85, well, I'll buy it again, right? So then I'm averaging down over and over and over, and your average price goes down. When the price goes up, once it gets to 106, I'm already in the green. If it gets to 110, 120, 130, or it was at, I think, 250 not long ago, that's 2x, that's 3x, right? So this is kind of how you want to look at it. The real smart money buys, the old saying, buy low, sell high. So you want to buy it on a down day when everybody's shitting their pants saying, oh my God, we're selling, like the whole world was selling all their stocks. I was buying, you mean it's on sale? Fantastic. Go sell your stuff. I'll buy it, right? And, of course, I'm buying, a couple $100. The whales are buying a couple $100 million. This is the difference. So, if I'm up $20, the whales are up 20 million. Then you're talking huge money. But follow, the old saying is do as they do, not as they say, because they'll tell you they don't want you to buy the Bitcoin. They'll tell you to sell now, sell. The markets are tanking. You hear it all over the news, everywhere. Oh my God, the end of the world, right? Meanwhile, they're buying the frickin' dip. So look at it that way. Things are on sale right now. I've said it many times. If there's a sale at Best Buy, there's a lineup of 100 people to go and get a TV at 40% off. But when there's a sale on the stock market, or when there's a sale in the crypto market, everybody's running the other way. No one wants to buy. It's just, you have to look at it the opposite way. You want to buy things when the price is down. Buy it on a down day. Don't buy it when the price is green and, oh my God, I'm going to, FOMO, I'm going to miss out if I don't buy it. Buy it on the down day. Ultimately, the price goes up one day, the price goes down one day. Up one day, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But in the long run, the price goes up. If you really want to make money in crypto, you really want to make money in the stock market, you don't just buy and sell. This day trading is totally overrated. You buy and you hold. And if you're young and you've got, you're 20, let's say, and you can wait 30, 40 years to keep your money in the stock market or your money into Bitcoin, you will make money. Just stay calm. When things start going down, don't freak out. That's the time when you want to actually buy more, right? Because things go on sale. So keep that in mind. Basic economics, that's definitely the way to do it. That's the way the big money does it. So follow that route, and you're almost guaranteed to be in the positive. When your aunt and sister start calling and saying, hey, did you see Bitcoin? Should I put money into Bitcoin? It's too late. That's it. That's when everybody's into it. That's when you want to be selling. When when no one's talking about Bitcoin and, oh my God, Bitcoin's dead and, oh, we're going to lose all our money. And that's when you want to be buying, right? Guys, always spend less money than you earn. If you start making more money, start saving more money. Don't start spending more money frivolously because now you have more money. No, that just means you have more money to invest, more money to save. Investing money is not like spending it. Investing it is exactly, that's what the word means. You're investing it into something. You're waiting for that something to go up in price at a later date. And, at that point, then you can feel good about pulling your money out. But think long term, right? Ideally, you start investing when you're 20 or your late teens, and you can retire when you're 40 or 45, right? This is what you want to do. This is the way to go. If you've got a great idea, jump on that idea right away. Even if you're not ready, start, and you'll feel good about yourself. Whether it succeeds or not, you'll definitely feel good about yourself and fulfilled. Folks, when you're watching my show, I hope you feel like you are the show and not just part of the show. Having said that, I am hopefully going to reach 500 to 1,000 subscribers this year, and it would be great if you join me for that ride. So if you enjoyed this stream, please like, share, and hit that subscribe button, and we will see you on the next stream, folks. Thanks so much for joining.